Welcome back to the 1009 podcast. Had another jam-packed weekend of football. 5 top 25 matchups in college football. Game day finally going to Lawrence for Kansas versus TCU. NFL with a bunch of good games, bad games. Braves sweep the Mets in a crucial series. Grayson's finally a Braves fan now for the postseason. And just about 30 minutes ago, Judge hit number 62. Not that it matters to put him seventh all time. So lots to talk about tonight, boys.
Here's what I have to say about I'm just going to recap this whole weekend into one 20-second rant. Okay, ready?
Go ahead.
And we can go off of this. We can pick and choose whatever you like. I hate ESPN specifically and mostly. Clemson football has the most electric atmosphere in all of sports when it's on. I am a little bit tired. NFL, Trevor Lawrence might have a little bit of a hand issue, if you know what I'm saying. And Judge is overrated, and so are the Mets. What do we want to go off of, Bailey? Off of you.
I mean, football happened first. Might as well get into college.
Go off, King. Go off. What do you have to say?
I mean, I don't think there's actually a legit number one contender for the national championship this year. Because Georgia, two straight weeks of really.
I disagree. I do. I think here's a hot take.
Ohio State.
I think Ohio State is the clear number one here. I think it's the clear
number
number one. I didn't put a lot of stock in who was it? Georgia struggled against
Mizzou.
Georgia struggled.
Well,
no,
Kent State
not
also.
This week.
Last week was Kent State. Kent State last week.
Didn't they kind of struggle against like Sam Houston State too?
They beat them 31-0.
Or Samford, but it was kind of like a scrappy 31-0 if that's a thing. But so anyways, maybe Oregon's not that good. Alabama, I mean, Bryce Young had an AC joint? Was that what it was?
Yeah,
something throwing shoulder. Yeah,
some with a shoulder. I mean, that's never good. Week 4 or 5, whatever we're in now, never good. That's going to be lingering throughout the year. Every time he lands on that thing wrong. And then, now that I'm thinking about it, unfortunately, Ohio State's best win is Notre Dame at home. Barely? Can we say barely?
Yeah.
It's 21-10, yeah.
But it was an ugly game.
It was an ugly 21-10.
Right, yeah.
And Notre Dame is not good.
They go to East Lansing this week to also
Who's
face a not good team.
Who's also not good, right?
Maryland beat them. Yeah, they do go to Penn State October 29th, so we'll find out then for sure.
I mean, the boys of Clemson, South Carolina are not in the running for best team in the country.
No, not right now.
Michigan is definitely not in the running for best team in the country.
Absolutely not. And yet they remain above us Nate people for reasons I can't understand.
Do you want a hot take? Do you want a hot take? Here's a hot take.
Always.
USC looks the best.
Did you not stay up for the game against Oregon State?
No! Of course not!
Well, they won 17-14, and they didn't look good at all.
The turnovers helped them.
Yeah.
And the turnover bug ain't always going to be there.
All right, well, Tennessee it is. The Vols it is.
There it is. That's what I was waiting for.
There's that.
Good old Rocky Top. Woo! What happened to Raciel Iglesias just now? He get thrown out?
I don't know. We're sweating the Braves going for the
we're live sweating
right
the Braves, Marlins. Braves magic number is 1. So with a win or a loss, a Mets loss tonight, they won game 1, then Braves win the NL East after sweeping the Mets this past weekend. It might be PitchCom, whatever. Let's move on. Yeah, so I mean USC 6, Oklahoma State maybe.
Yeah.
They look pretty good.
That was a huge win for them. Yeah.
Yeah, over Baylor. Tennessee, that was a joke. Ole Miss at 9 is probably a bit of an overstatement.
Right, but I think Kentucky at 7 was too, and they beat them. So I think just by virtue of that.
Unfortunately, though, I think there's 2 groups right now, really, where it's no one is super elite.
I think there's a top 3. There's not a one leading the country, I don't think.
I don't even know if I'd say a top 3. If you look at Clemson's wins, they're up there, right?
Yeah.
Right, but I mean,
I mean,
clearly, just based on like the national picture of what we get from the AP poll, I mean, we haven't moved, which I think is dumb. But
I mean, that is what it is. I'm not really too worried about that. I think that the playoff committee will put a lot more,
no,
emphasis
I mean,
on the
based on
wins.
resume, where we sit right now, we have the best resume. We have two top 15 wins. Yeah. So
correct. And one being on the road, and so I think there's two groups of like very good, right? Like no one's elite, but like very good, and then there's the next group of like
fair.
Probably overranked, but who else are you gonna put there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna say they're good. I'm not gonna say they're bad. It's just like
Is Tennessee in that?
Yeah. Tennessee is not the. I mean, in a normal. I mean, like 8 beside. They barely beat Pittsburgh. They probably should have lost.
With a
double
second-string
overtime or
quarterback.
whatever with like their third-string quarterback.
Yeah.
Had to sweat it out against Florida, who, by the way, is not that good.
No, it's a 5-loss team.
At best.
Yeah.
AR-15 though, first round QB in my mock draft. Everyone go check it out. 1009 podcast. And Russell Iglesias with a strikeout. Utah got smoked by Florida. I know it was a close game, but like
it was very close. But yeah,
Oregon got smoked by Georgia. I'm looking at it now.
that was
Kentucky
not close.
Just lost to Ole Miss. NC State got smoked by us. NC State got smoked by us. I mean, it's 30-20, but they got smoked.
It was not that close.
It should have been 30-13.
I mean, it should have been like 37-10.
To 6, yeah.
Yeah. Wake Forest lost to us. I actually think Wake Forest is a good team. I think they're frisky.
I mean, they showed it this weekend.
It's a good team.
Yeah.
BYU 16. I mean, okay.
That's about right.
Put there.
That's credit for playing the games they have.
TCU went from unranked to 15th. Okay. I don't know. Sure.
Where you seeing that?
UCLA went from unranked.
That's for game day.
18th.
Huh?
They're 5-0. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Sure. Kansas 19th. They're probably. I'm gonna be honest here, boys. Kansas is underranked.
Yeah, and they're catching a TD at home this weekend.
TCU.
Yeah.
Kansas looks legit.
Johnson's a stud.
I mean that's enough AP 25 talk, but like, dude,
Syracuse
is
22nd. LSU's 25.
Yes, Syracuse is 25. Syracuse is 25, yet Florida State isn't in the top 25.
Right.
If you lose,
they were like 23 and lost. I think.
If you lose when you're in like 20 through 25, you're probably somewhat guaranteed to drop out. I feel like that's how it always is.
I know, but like, LSU beat Auburn by 4.
Yeah.
They were down 17-0 in that game.
And FSU beat LSU.
Ryan Harsin, the guy who's been fired 6 times this year already.
If they're going
Ryan Harson's the new Scott Frost.
Who's getting a bag?
Ranking Cincinnati to me is absurd. Absurd.
Where are they at?
Huh?
24.
Well then.
I mean, they're whatever. I'm off the AP top 25. It's a joke. Honestly, college football should be ranked like top 12, and that's it. If we're gonna do 25, let's just go ahead and make it 75. Who cares?
If it's 12, then that's where the 12-team playoff needs to be.
Agreed.
I think so. Because that's all people's gonna care about. I mean, people only care about the top 4 anyway. So
yeah.
I just had playoff rankings earlier, so we can quit looking at this crap. Honestly.
Moving on. I mean, college football, there wasn't that much to talk about. We can talk about Clemson a little bit. They look good. They look solid. The atmosphere was electric. Big B. I'm sorry you weren't there.
Death Valley is
I was about to say, y'all
a show. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like actually a show.
The speakers have never sounded better. That includes Louisville. All the music stuff, the lighting stuff's great. The video board it looks massive on pictures and things like that. And I really didn't think it'd be that much of a difference, but it's night and day.
It's a night and day.
Yeah.
Dude,
so everything with that did a great job.
The one that we did have, like the previous one, is like 30% smaller than the one I have.
Right. Yeah. No, it was tiny. You don't really realize that until there's a huge one there in its huge place. Yeah.
And it's huge.
All the empty space you don't really take into account now filled by the video board. It was
right.
It was crazy.
That's the view, guys. The view.
I will say this. Yeah, Death Valley is a show and a half, and it's awesome, especially like when they're good.
Syracuse is a night game.
I think
when I
it
go.
is.
It can be.
Not
It hasn't
yet.
been announced yet.
Oh, it hasn't been
Florida
announced.
State. Florida State's a night game, so Beezy's gonna be mad.
That's at FSU though, right?
But yeah,
Right.
but he still has to
That's
stay
gonna be
up and
tough.
watch it,
That's gonna be
remember?
tough.
Yeah, that's not a
gonna be tough.
walkthrough. No.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, we can talk about Clemson, all day, but I don't really think there's much to say other than we kind of dog walked NC State. Last year was their year to win the ACC, and they kind of fumbled that away with Wake Forest. And
Right.
yeah, I mean, like it's
We were their
ours.
biggest win in program history, and they failed to win the Atlantic. So this was to be expected.
As long as we beat Florida State, the ACC's ours.
Yeah.
I mean, you could basically say that the ACC's ours now. I think Florida State will have another loss.
Yeah.
And I think Florida State's
they absolutely.
Unfortunately, though, I think this upcoming week, Boston College, that receiver that they have,
Zay Flowers is just
Zay Flowers
he's gonna run
very,
for us.
very good.
God,
He's gonna run circles around our DBs.
He might have 200 yards in a loss. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's your take. Makuba needs to be a safety and not a cornerback because he was getting toast.
Bailey, who else are we gonna play there?
I was about to say, we're running out of bodies at that point.
Yeah.
It's not that he can't. It's that who would fill the void left by him moving.
I mean, when Sheridan comes back, absolutely, he's a safety and a good one.
Yeah.
But
I know that's what you mean.
I think everyone agrees he shouldn't play corner. Like, I also think he shouldn't play defensive tackle. But at some point, necessity,
just go under the legs.
Necessity, outranks talent. So,
right. Wiggins had a fairly
it's honestly
good game.
impressive how well he did play.
Yeah.
Considering, like, he didn't let up like a 75-yard touchdown.
He did have that one where I think they were playing zone and Makins didn't get over down the edge. It was like the first drive.
The dot inside the 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a dot though.
Yeah.
You're not really going to defend that anyway.
That bad PI call on Mickens though in the end zone was awful.
Yeah.
So bad. I mean, that was like the most beautiful play on the ball of all time.
Yeah.
Leary just hasn't looked all that great this year.
I mean, I was thinking about it though. I was thinking about it towards the end of the game. Did he look that good last year?
He beat us. That's why he looked good.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. He beat us, but like in not a good way. And
like I saw, this could be wrong, but his QBR past 20 yards this year coming in was like 39.
Right.
If you can't beat us deep, you're not beating us. So.
That's the only way you can beat us.
Yeah.
A la Wake Forest.
Right. If you don't have a guy like
last
Hartman
year,
slinging it. Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. Last year, he had a good year.
Right, but to say he was like the best QB in the ACC and all that stuff, I think that was a little bit premature.
Compared to like what Tyler Van Dyke did last year, Sam Hartman.
I mean, he definitely put up better numbers than both of them.
He did.
I'm saying this year. Like, I know last year was last year, but they did lose some stuff on offense. They had that receiver that destroyed us last year gone.
They lost the best left tackle they've had. And
I mean, the left tackle and the receiver being gone is a huge issue.
And that
Thayer Thomas is the same thing almost, but yeah.
They don't have playmakers, and I would put a good left or a great left tackle in the category of like playmaker.
If Clemson had a great left tackle, like, we'd probably be top 2, top 3.
I mean, I thought the O-line giving up no sacks Saturday.
Yeah, I thought the O-line
really, really, really good.
They're coming together. Coming together.
Yeah, and on that freshman Miller,
I saw that.
He's got that dog.
Yeah, he's got that dog.
He's
got that dog in him.
I was like,
by the way, Iglesias just struck out the side. So.
Oops. I was surprised that we only had 3 sacks. I felt like we were living in the backfield the whole.
It's just kind of like Wake Forest. We were half a second away from 10 sacks, but we were also probably half a second away from 0.
If you look at pressures, it was a lot more than that. So, I mean, I think it's fair to say that. Yeah. I'm just watching the game. We got pressure almost whenever we wanted it, and when DJ did get pressured, he got out of it. So
they were averaging 1.6 yards a carry or something stupid like that.
We embarrassed
them. They couldn't run the ball at all.
No, it was and DJ had 70 by himself. So I mean, that's just another indication of how the trenches went Saturday night. But yeah, I wouldn't put it quite at the level of Louisville in 16, just because that game and I think Lamar coming in was a lot more hype than Leary and the Wolfpack. So
I'll say this.
I mean, it's as close.
I agree. I think how the game played out, I definitely wouldn't put it ahead of Louisville or Notre Dame. But
you think
from a pure atmosphere standpoint,
off the field,
like the not like the game adding to the crowd. Like there was not really ever a point in time where like okay, it's 3rd and 3. Let's try to get them to false start. Like that was never needed.
Right.
And
It's
so
just a constant.
right, it was just constant like electricity and all these cool things going on. So like excluding all of that, it was like one of the better ones.
Even down 10-6, I never thought for a moment we were gonna lose that game. I think that
Right,
added to it
there was
too.
never a doubt in my mind. I was like, we're gonna win this game.
Right.
I
When
just
Lamar
didn't
and them
think
scored like 30 unanswered, I was like, we might be
We're
in
gonna
trouble.
lose.
Yeah. We might be in trouble.
We're since 2015 with the Notre Dame game. I know, Grayson, Jacob, were you at that game?
Yeah.
So since that game, we have been to every home game since except for like COVID year and all that.
I haven't.
Where
Yeah.
would you rank that among these last 7 years? That home game for y'all?
Including 2015?
Right. Are we including Notre Dame or not?
I'm gonna go with no since we. Yeah.
Then
Let's go with
2.
no.
Not including. So 2016.
Then probably 2.
2. Yeah.
I'd say
Two
Chase
would be-
beating Syracuse is up there as well.
That Auburn game.
No,
had a lot of hype in
that
it,
was just
too.
up there for a singular moment. Like
Yeah.
I'm saying, like this was
Right.
the whole night from the
Okay.
from the jump till the end. This place was electric.
And
Right,
that's
yeah,
not-
no,
and that's
his-
including
Like
the South Carolina
Syracuse
games,
was
too.
like the final touchdown run, and then that XT hit.
Right.
The 56-7
this-
blowout was. I mean, it died quick.
That was
Right.
awesome. Yeah.
I mean,
this
both
was
South
an-
Carolina
this-
games had great atmosphere in the first quarter, and then
Dude, I don't know, Grayson. I'm thinking about it, dude.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
It might be one.
I don't know,
no, I just
that Louisville.
No,
game
I'm
was-
not talking. I'm not talking crowd.
no, I'm not either.
Atmosphere.
I'm
You're
talking-
atmosphere.
Pure atmosphere. Don't
I
Stop
don't know.
Believing. The
That
new
was-
Hill
yeah.
intro. The new
Yeah.
fourth
that's
quarter
fair, that's
video.
fair.
The lights flickering. Dude.
That stuff was crazy.
Don't stop believing, or we will rock you. Which one was it?
Oh, We Will Rock You is at the start with the
That was
Hill.
pregame. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that
They're
was
trying to-
also electric.
They're trying to
Right.
bring that back too.
They need to. It's awesome.
They should.
Yeah.
They should keep it. Yeah, with the phone flashlights with Don't Stop Believing was great. I think that was in between 3rd and 4th maybe? Or in there somewhere.
Somewhere.
Well,
in there.
and then you got the
Yeah.
fourth quarter video.
But they didn't get to the part
Right.
where everyone could go, "Don't stop believe." They ended it before that, which
Yeah. They
always do
started
that.
earlier, people.
There's certain songs that they always start early, and then they don't get to the good part, and they just cut it out.
Yeah, so
Commercials are 4.5 minutes long. You can find a time to start
Yeah.
that.
yeah, there's 20 media timeouts too. So
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have to get the rally cats to go in and do their little dance that no one watches.
That first quarter went cool.
Shout out to rally cats, though. You guys know what you do.
yeah.
Yeah.
The first quarter was like literally 2 drives. It was
Yeah.
very quick.
A lot of people
Yeah,
were
I
sitting
mean,
there
that was a sick
expecting
game. That was a sick game.
Yeah.
But yeah, the weather
Anyways.
was really affected the game a lot. Saw a bunch of games really. I mean, they got somewhat affected. We saw games get moved to Thursday, games get moved to Saturday, Friday, etc.
Florida played Sunday. Yeah.
I didn't even know. Like,
I didn't even know
Right.
that.
it was like Eastern Michigan or something, wasn't it?
I'm assuming
Yeah.
they won.
Eastern Washington, I think it was like
Yeah.
52-17. It was never close.
I didn't. Yeah, I
Assuming
didn't
they
even know
won?
they played.
Oh yeah, they blew them
Oh,
out.
okay.
Yeah.
At what point are the Texas A&M boosters being like, that buyout's not that much?
I think after App State. So I
They
I would not.
definitely got to be like, they're definitely like hopping on a Zoom call right now, being like, all right, guys, so like, where are we at? Like, how
My
many
thing
more
is-
wars do we need to start to get Jimbo Fisher out of here?
Who are you gonna go get? Urban? I mean,
Kid of Kansas? Kid of
No,
Kansas?
if he goes anywhere, it's going to be
Leipold?
Wisconsin.
no.
Dude,
Right, he's an alum.
yes, Urban Meyer
think.
would win a national title at Texas A&M.
Thing is, though, Wisconsin's probably going to hire their assistant.
Right, Jim
No,
Leonard.
I'm saying
Yeah.
Urban Meyer would win a national title at Texas
Definitely.
A&M.
He's one of the best college coaches out there ever. Like,
When he's
Yeah,
winning.
there's no doubt
'cause-
about that.
No.
No,
When
no
is he
matter his
losing?
off the field antics, he's a great
When is he
on-the-field
losing?
coach.
When he's faking brain aneurysms, that's when.
Hey, we're still like 10-2.
Yeah,
Okay, is that the
I
best
would
he can
kill
do?
that.
No.
I would kill to have a brain aneurysm and be a $100 million NFL or college coach, whatever he got paid.
He was a
I would give
100K
that up.
NFL coach.
To have his career as a college coach for brain aneurysms, give it to me.
Which I mean, again, might not have even been real. So I don't know. I think
his worst year at Ohio State was 12-2, and they lost the Orange Bowl.
Was that our year that we beat him?
What?
That the year we beat him?
Yeah.
16 was Fiesta.
Yeah,
No,
6
so,
was
yeah.
14.
Yeah, so 13 was when we beat them in that, whatever. And then the brain aneurysm was when he was 8-5 at Florida, and then came back 2 years later and coached Ohio State to a 12-0 record. Would Ohio State would have won the national title that year?
Yeah, funny how that works.
I know they had a bowl
miracle.
ban or whatever.
Yeah.
Was that the trestle stuff?
Yeah,
The tattoos and stuff.
whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if you don't have that agreement handshake at least, I don't think you fire Jimbo just because of.
No, yeah, you definitely have to have a handshake. Yeah.
I mean, if
Dude.
you don't get Urban Meyer, that's a downgrade. So.
Wait, is Urban Meyer the greatest coach of all time?
That.
He went
No.
He went 8-3 at Bowling Green,
No.
and then 9-3 at Bowling Green, and then 10-2 at Utah, and then 12-0 at Utah.
Is he the best using his resources coach?
Yes. And then he went
9-3
at Florida, 13-1, won the national title, 9-4, whatever. 13-1, won the national title, 13-1, won the Sugar Bowl, 8-5, brain aneurysm. And then he went 12-0, 12-2, lost the Orange Bowl, 14-1, won the national title, 12-1, won the Fiesta Bowl, 11-2, lost the Fiesta Bowl. And then he went 12-2, won the Cotton Bowl, 10-1, won the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, give me Nick Saban easily.
You're probably right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't
right.
care. You can do that for 10
You're
minutes. I don't care. It's Saban.
You're right.
I would take
You're right.
Saban, but I would also take Urban Meyer if it.
Urban's
Take
deserves
either
to be in the
one of
discussion,
them.
but
Yeah,
it's
any.
the discussion starts after Nick Saban. So yeah.
If you had to start a program from scratch with like Georgia Southern resource, if you had to start a program at Georgia Southern, who would you bet to win the national title first, Urban Meyer or Nick Saban?
Saban, because I can count on him actually being there long enough to do it.
It's fair. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it's really that easy. I could
you win.
not even venture onto the field before I decide that. Yeah.
Yeah, you win. All right, who would you rather have as a head coach? Let's play. Who would you rather? Let's see. Who are just some two people that I've thought of recently?
Paul Chris and Scott Frost.
Dan, whatever that guy's name is, that's an analyst now on ESPN.
Dan Mullen.
Yeah, or Scott Frost.
Mullen.
Would you?
What
I
school?
mean, you want to compare Power 5 resumes?
What school?
I mean, Scott Frost won a national title, man.
Yeah.
Not Power 5 and also didn't do that. So, yeah.
Also won a national title. If you look in the NCAA record books, you will see the UCF is a national champion.
Yeah, you can make all the rings you want. I know what real ones look like, and they don't have
If
those.
Clemson won the national championship that year, we would be against it. So just letting that be known.
But we
That's-
did it.
Yeah.
So I'm for it. Funny how circumstance changes things.
Anyway, one coach that has obviously burst onto the scene this year is none
Lance
other-
Leopold. Who'd you say?
Lance Leipold.
Leipold? Whatever.
You maybe like questioned his pronunciation. I was like, that sounded right.
No, it's
Lance
Leipold.
Leprosy.
But yeah, what he's doing right now is it's wild.
Amazing.
It's
Is
dating back to
amazing.
last year with beating Texas.
Right.
Was he there last year?
Yes.
Is this his second year?
Yeah,
Yes.
He had 2 wins last
Where's he
year.
from?
Wisconsin. Some D3
Like
school in
Wisconsin Whitewater?
Maybe.
Kansas hired a D3 coach?
I think he might have been a coordinator.
I think he was. Yeah.
I want to say he was at like Buffalo.
Yes.
I think he
Yes.
was. Yeah, I think you're right.
But like
That's what it
I think he was at like University of Wisconsin Whitewater before that.
Yeah, for 7 years
Probably.
and then 5 years at Buffalo.
Okay.
He has 153 and 49 career head coaching record.
Jeez. There we go.
He's
Pretty good
34 and
considering,
1 in
you know,
D3
Kansas.
playoffs.
Dude, he's just a good coach, man. There's no way he stays at Kansas. There's no way.
No, I don't think so either.
When you get another offer, you got to go.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's the
Is
way
Kansas
that
gonna go 12-0? What odds can I get for Kansas to go undefeated?
100 to 1
That's
at
it.
least.
I mean, I need 250. somebody looking it up?
Yeah, let's see. I mean, it might end this week, in all honesty, as good as TCU looked on Saturday. They go
We got a
TCU at
Jayhawk
home. I've been the most pro Jayhawk person on this podcast, first of all. Second of
Oh,
all,
really? Was your dad born in Kansas? I didn't think so.
Weren't
I'm
you
the
on
most
Kansas
pro
State?
Jayhawk.
No,
No, but if
no,
you-
no. You're
Yeah.
a Manhattan guy. You picked Kansas State to win the Big 12, so shut your mouth.
No, I did. I picked
Yes, you
Oklahoma
did.
State.
No.
No, Kansas State was the joke one. I actually picked
Uh-huh.
Oklahoma State.
Kansas gets TCU at home. Game day there for the first time ever. Well deserved. Go to Oklahoma.
Wait,
to
isn't Kansas
Baylor.
State ranked?
Shh.
No.
We're talking about Kansas.
Yeah, so Kansas State at Oklahoma at Baylor before a bye. Then they get Oklahoma State at home at Texas Tech, home against Texas, and they finish up at now number 20, Kansas State. I don't see them running that table. I'm sorry.
Bailey, Kansas is 19. Kansas State is 20.
Hey, Kansas is top. Kansas is king.
I mean, I think they're going to get into the real tough part of the Big 12 schedule. They've got 2 wins already, and that's huge, but I don't see that continuing. I mean, at Baylor, you get Texas and Oklahoma State at home. I know Oklahoma's
They played
struggling.
Oklahoma.
Now they go to Norman in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Will they
I'm
be
gonna
bowl
say
eligible?
they're not gonna make it. Huh?
Yeah.
Will they be bowl eligible?
Yes. They're not losing out either.
I mean,
Yeah, they're gonna win one more game.
Here's the thing. It's also Kansas. So
We're thinking about Les Miles as Kansas, not Lance Leipold. Yes, I mean another team 5-0, not really expected to. How about Ole Miss? They beat Kentucky
they're more expected
Saturday.
than Kansas.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but I
They
don't
got
think
that. Didn't they get that? Isn't their quarterback Jackson Dart? He's
Yes.
was pretty good.
They a little bit of a war led against Kentucky. Levis did everything he could to win that game. They had a TD that would have put them up very, very late, get called back, and so Ole Miss might actually mess around being 9-0 when they get Alabama in about 5 weeks from now. I think there's a bye in there
Miss?
as well. Yeah, I mean that could be a very unexpected huge game for the SEC. I don't think they beat Alabama, but as far as hype goes, I
No.
could see game day wherever that game is. But I mean, yeah, they're
We'll see how Tennessee LSU goes this weekend. Like LSU is ranked.
That's true,
I don't
too.
think they
Yeah.
should be.
no.
Because that could be a big game beforehand. And they go to Texas A&M. Like I don't think Texas A&M's good, but like they have the talent to play.
Right, but is the
Not
talent
on
going
any
to
good
care at
day.
that point? Is my question.
Yeah, it's true.
That's
And then Alabama. I mean, yeah, dude, there's a chance that
right. It's on the
Mississippi
table.
Ole Miss is like 5th, 6th,
Hmm.
like going into the game.
They're now 9th in the country.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Tennessee plays Georgia and Alabama before that.
They're losing both of those. So yeah.
Correct. So they're not going to be ahead of them.
No.
Oh my God, AJ Minter. I mean, that's it, I guess. Really.
I glanced at the schedule
Oklahoma State
earlier, but I
might
mean,
lose.
right, yeah. I mean, especially Big 12. You never know what's going to happen. Speaking of Oklahoma State, though, I think it's safe to say at this point they're the best team in the Big 12, going into Waco and winning. And yeah, I mean, Kansas is a great story. I know Kansas State ranked 2. Some other teams bubbling up as well, even with Oklahoma seemingly in a down year and Texas being without Ewers, hopefully for no more weeks. They get Oklahoma this week, so hopefully he's back for that one. And then
Texas, Oklahoma.
the Red River Shootout or whatever
Guess
the
the
acceptable
line on
name
that
is
game.
now.
I want to know.
I would
got
say
it.
probably Texas -6
Bailey,
with Ewers playing.
What, Texas, Oklahoma?
guess the line.
Minus
It can't be more than a touchdown. There's no
Say
way.
-3.
3.5.
Guys, dang it, AJ Minter. Walk to batter, bases loaded. It's -7, Texas.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Boys, this is
Wow.
not good. This is. I mean, I'm live, talking about the Braves here because the
Yeah.
Mets are up 7-0 in the third.
Shout out Nationals, I guess,
Yeah.
for not being the Cubs.
Yeah. Shout out National.
Yeah, so I mean, I think we might have a 2 or 3 loss champ in the Big 12, but I think as we're standing right now, that conference a bit better than we thought. Maybe not the teams represented and the 8 people that we expected, but yeah, I think it's Oklahoma State right now.
It's kind of like the ACC, like the top end teams that we expected aren't there, but like
Right.
the rounded out, full fledged team is, the whole conference is better. Like I mean, I think we can go ahead and definitively say that the Pac-12 and the Big 10 or Big 12 are out on the playoff.
I would give
The Pac-12 and the
USC a
Big 12?
shot if they.
USC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Forgot about them. Okay, you're right.
I don't think Oregon could overcome 49-3 in the opener, but
Neither
yeah,
can Utah.
Utah
losing to
probably
Florida.
not overcome the Florida loss. No,
If
Like, I'm
Southern
saying, like-
Cal's undefeated, I don't think you can really keep them out.
I agree.
absolutely
I
not.
agree.
No.
But I'm
No.
saying if you put a
But
one-loss Utah against a one-loss Georgia or Alabama,
But that also depends on where Georgia and Alabama are ranked when they play each other.
No, it
SEC
doesn't.
championship.
no, it doesn't.
No, because they'll manipulate to avoid them playing the first round.
Correct.
They're both in again.
Correct.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter at all.
Just like last year. Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's going to then that
Which
would
they
leave
should
out
do. I'm
Southern
fine
Cal.
with that.
But that would leave out Southern Cal,
Would it?
Ohio State, us.
Then they wouldn't put a.
Yeah, you got me, Big B. You got me.
I think whoever loses in Atlanta is
There's
out.
only
then.
4.
Let's go.
You got out of it.
There we go. If Southern Cal's undefeated,
Oh
the
my
SEC does
Jesus
not get
Christ.
2 teams in.
Dansby almost dropped it. I'm sorry.
If Clemson's undefeated, Southern Cal's undefeated.
Clemson
There's a
gets in.
one-loss or undefeated
schedule's
SEC
better.
champ. And then you got Ohio State sitting there. I don't think the SEC gets 2 teams
Here's
in.
the thing. What's Georgia's schedule looking like now? They
Here's
have a
the thing.
weak schedule this year.
When is the last
Right.
time? I mean, they got Tennessee. When is the
That's going
last
to be their
time?
best game.
Exactly.
When is the
that's
last time
problem.
we've had 3 undefeated teams? And
Oh, it won't happen. It absolutely
No, it won't. It'll work itself out. It'll work itself out. We do this every year.
Because I mean, Alabama and Georgia are going to cancel each other out. One of them's going to lose. We're not.
Yeah,
So.
and they don't meet in the
Yeah,
regular
we're not.
season, correct?
We're
So
Yeah, we're not.
Yeah.
Ohio State's bound to lose to Purdue or Northwestern.
I see them. They might slip up against Penn State.
if they lose to Northwestern, Ryan Day's gonna be wearing
We
Kevlar.
also forgot about Penn State. I don't think Penn State is going to go undefeated,
no,
but I do think.
I
Here's
don't
I'm going to call it right now. I think they're going to beat Ohio State and then lose 3 games.
and
They're not losing 3 games.
Let's pull up the schedule. I don't think they're that good.
Here's how the Big Ten's going to work. Like you said, Penn State's going to beat Ohio State. Michigan's going to beat Penn State. Michigan's going to lose to Ohio State. That's how it's going to work. Ohio State will be in the Big Ten because Penn State's going to lose like one more game.
All right.
And yeah,
All right.
there you go.
All right. You think Penn State couldn't lose 3 games? First off, they're on a bye this week. They have Michigan next week.
Right.
They beat Northwestern 17-7.
Ugly game.
In the
at
pouring
home.
rain, to be fair.
They beat
Yeah.
Central Michigan 33-14.
hmm
They destroyed Auburn, whatever, and they beat
Right.
Ohio. And then they barely beat Purdue.
They
Yeah,
have
but in a road
been
conference opener,
insanely
who else in
tested.
the country did
That's
that?
true.
Nobody did that.
I'm saying they could easily lose to Michigan.
We did.
They could lose to Maryland.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
could. And Ohio State.
They could lose to Michigan State.
I don't know.
No,
Michigan State's
that-
bad.
That Mel Tucker's in trouble, and he's
You're
got
right.
paid $1 billion to look
You're right.
like
They're gonna go.
garbage.
They're gonna go. They're gonna go 10-2 and win some combination of Ohio State, Michigan, and Maryland.
Right, 3 games.
Why am I throwing Maryland in there?
They're good. I'm telling you, they're good. They
don't
just
know if they-
handled Michigan State. I think they're
Are
good.
they good or frisky?
They went in the big
Frisky.
house and they
Frisky.
stuck around the entire game. So
They're a
no,
frisky team.
Penn State does get Maryland at home. I think that helps a lot, especially with teams like that. You don't want to go to those
Maryland
teams.
only lost to Michigan by a touchdown. Sorry.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
14. It was 14. They scored with like 40 seconds left, just to give some a little bit of context. But they looked
Thank
pretty
you.
good that whole game.
You always
Um,
need context.
and I'm high on Maryland, but I don't think they're going to Penn State and winning. I'll say that.
But they're like you said, they're a frisky team.
Oh,
I wouldn't put
absolutely.
it past them.
I think if you want a giant killer in the Big Ten, it's them. Because I don't think Penn State counts
Yeah.
them where they're ranked.
Yeah, I see that for sure. I guess they already passed. They already lost their first test to.
Michigan.
But I mean, Talia's going to be fine. That team. I don't know who they get at home. They could trip up among the elites in the Big Ten, but it could very well happen.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, who knows? The Big Ten's always crazy and shit. So
They all
Yeah.
run the same offenses.
I'm
They
very
all put each
interested to
other
see
up.
how USC does.
Yeah, they beat Utah, and yeah,
We know one team in the Big Ten that's not going to do anything this year, and that is Wisconsin because they
Nebraska.
fired
Oh,
Christ. Well, yeah.
the latest fired coach in the Big Ten.
Yeah, had 2 this weekend. A little twofer.
who's the second?
Colorado.
Right.
But
I mean, we've been
We
talking
talk
about good
college football a
teams.
lot.
We can talk about good teams real quick. Two teams that just look like A&M and Oklahoma. These are two preseason top 10 teams. They just both got destroyed on the road.
Yeah, we touched on A&M a little bit with the buyout of Jimbo, but yeah,
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Brent, there's nothing you can say about that.
At some
I
point, everyone needs to learn the life lesson of it's okay to be the best coordinator.
And he was happy with that for how many years? And then he just had the
A
right.
lot.
It
I
goes
mean,
back
at some
to the money
point, though, I
talks.
kind of
Yeah.
get it. Like, you just want your own thing.
Yeah, and I
His
think
own
that
thing is Dabo's thing.
It's also
I
the
mean,
first year and his best players just left.
Yeah.
Like, in the
right.
transfer
I
portal.
do think you have to qualify it with. I think they looked so good early. People's expectations went a lot higher than they should have been, and they got into
Right.
the losable portion of the schedule.
Yep.
And they're
they
losing
lost.
the losable games. So
I just don't think people saw it that bad, though. That's the
No, I
thing
mean
that's getting.
how you lose is important too. And I mean, I know they lost Trevor Knight early in the second quarter, but it was 34-10 when he got hurt. So
Trevor
Who is-
Knight.
not Trevor Knight. Who am I
Who is
thinking?
his D coordinator?
Dylan
talking
Gabriel. My bad.
Yeah, Trevor Knight roasted Venables on Twitter or whatever.
Whatever.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
'cause he did a
rich
lot,
coming
yeah.
from Trevor Knight.
Yeah. So a TCU player did get ejected for the hit on Gabriel. It didn't matter. The game was, like I said, 4-score game at that point. It was just a matter of
That was a bad hit.
it was very ejectable. I will definitely agree with that.
Very
I would say
ejectable.
so.
But
More
yeah,
than
I think
what
TCU had
happened to our
like
guy.
800 yards or something like not 800, but it was
It was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot.
for Venables defense, at least what we're used to seeing, it was very eye opening to say the
It was
least.
bad. It was bad.
Yeah, I mean they weren't going to win the.
400 in the first quarter.
What?
Oh yeah, it was
They
They
had
had
420
yards
yards
in
in
the
the first
first
quarter.
quarter.
Yes.
Yes. It was killing Brent's narrative is that it was that bad of a defensive game, and he is known as being the best defensive coordinator.
Right. If he
So-
would have
Yeah.
lost 19-0, it would have been like,
Yeah, that's on your offense.
Whatever.
You can't score. Yeah. And hold on. This made me think
Go
of
off,
something.
King. Go off, King.
The score 30-17 looks a lot like 31-17 looks a lot worse than a 14-point game. Like I feel like that's like a 20-point deficit.
Because you give up
Wait,
30
that
already.
was the Oklahoma score?
No. I was just saying like
In
you
general.
saying that 19-0 sounded like a bigger win than what it actually is. Because
Right. Yeah.
it's just the two different like
But
you're
30
saying
to 17. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, just made me think of. Oh, there you go. Okay, Matt Olson got a hit. But yeah. So, anything else on college football?
Chase Bryce got a win for App State.
Bounce
Oh
back.
yeah, we forgot about
Friend
him.
of the podcast, beat
Here we go,
Citadel
Jacob.
49-0, and has some Barstool merch out now. So go buy that stuff.
He still
Use
hasn't sent
promo
us any.
code 1009 for 65% off.
You
Use
can
promo
try it. It
code-
won't work.
Use promo
will
code
work.
1009
We
for
hacked their
1009.
database.
Yeah, so Chase, one of the many Barstool athletes, getting some merch out, which is
Use
good
code
to
Big
see.
B. So with all that being said, that pretty much wraps up college football for the weekend. It did go into Sunday like we mentioned, but no one cared about that game at all. So let's get into the real action of Sunday. And boy, was it like college, and it was a weekend. Like nothing crazy, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it started on Thursday, and I think one of the bigger stories in the NFL right now came out of that game because Tua Tagovailoa played
Is
Thursday, and he,
Quite literally.
yeah, I mean, that was one of the worst looking head injuries I've ever seen on a field.
Yeah.
I thought we saw some bad things, but
This is
Not
the
officially. We
entire
never saw anything
reason.
bad officially.
cut that.
No.
Cut that.
Of course not. This is like the entire reason the concussion movie got made. I don't know if you guys saw the actual doctor from that whole thing said today that he's told Tua he should retire, which won't happen, unfortunately.
The
Whether he
doctor
should or
from the
not.
movie said Tua should
Why not?
retire.
The doctor who made the study in real life, yes, said he should retire. Like the guy who discovered CTE has said that he thinks Tua should retire based on the last two concussions.
I don't know if I agree with that one.
It won't happen, I'll tell you that. Whether it's
Did you
Well,
throw
because
away
the first one
$30
didn't
million?
count, right?
there's a strikeout. What?
The
I'm
first
gonna
one
be
didn't count.
honest. If you're telling me I could have $35 million and live like a king, or
Until you're 35.
cut 5 years off of my life,
I think he's well past 5 years at this point.
You never know when those 5 years are,
You're
though.
probably
That's
right.
the thing.
huh?
You never know when those 5 years start.
That's also true. It, like Grayson said, it could start at 35.
I
Start at
think
95.
you're your quality of life beyond football is not guaranteed in any case, and I think a path like this is guaranteed to not be very long, unfortunately. But I mean, we still know next to nothing about this stuff. That's pretty clear if you read through tweets from a lot of people. So, but hopefully they ruled him out this week, like they should have last week.
They need to put him on the IR.
I think the main reason he played Thursday is because they put him back in on Sunday. And from an optics perspective, if you rule a guy out after you let him play a full half,
right,
heads are rolling anyway. So not that should decide it anyway, but I think that
I'm sure another strikeout. I'm sure that the NFLPA will, I hope at least, will publicly release, their findings on the situation.
All of it. Yeah.
But yeah.
There's no scenario where it looks good for Miami. I don't care what they release.
Yeah. I mean, I've kind of wrestled with it, like to where it's like, at the end of the day, they're adults, they have to know their own body, but like they got to the NFL by just like throwing their bodies away. Like, they don't, like, they got there by not caring about what happens to them. Like, just full force, like, I'm going to die every play. So, I mean,
Tua had serious ankle and hip injuries in college before he even got the NFL. So, I mean, it's not like.
He had to get surgeries on both ankles. And
the tightrope procedure, all that stuff. Yeah.
Hang on. Let me make sure this is accurate. For free.
Well, yeah.
Broke his hip. Two high ankle sprains. Like, had a shoulder thing. Like
pre-legal NIL, yeah.
Right, for free. I want to put quotes on that.
There's a black book somewhere that disputes that, but we'll never see it. So.
Correct, yes. There's some account in the Caymans. By the way, 0-2 count, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, Braves up 1, Kenley Jansen. Pitch.
That'll work. But I think the only outcome we can hope for is Tua returns when he's actually ready, not when he thinks he's ready, and then he gets back rolling with Miami because they're a good team still.
Yeah, they're still a good team. Who's their backup? Teddy B?
Yeah, they got the Jets this weekend.
Yes. Teddy Two Gloves can win you some ball games.
Oh, absolutely. He can game manage you to several wins if you need to be.
Yeah, just get Tyreek Hill the ball and Jalen Water the ball. Which, I mean, like,
that foul ball would have been.
Is Teddy Two Gloves like that much different than Tua?
No.
Yes.
He's terrible.
He's not Tua. And I'm not a huge Tua guy.
Yes,
he's not Tua.
I meant yes. Sorry.
He's no. I'm not high on Tua, but I'm not that low. No.
He probably has a better arm.
I mean,
no.
He did enough to put 40 on Baltimore in a quarter with his arm. So I think
that's true. But yeah, you're right. It's probably a downgrade.
I would think it is.
But he's one of the better backups in the league.
Oh, easily. Absolutely.
Yeah. Cooper Rush is the best.
Cooper Rush is obviously one. All right, let's
Cooper Rush is never going to be back up again.
Let's rank our QB quarterback backup rankings. One, Cooper Rush, obviously. 2,
Joe Flacco.
No. 2, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
3, Joe Flacco.
I mean, I'd put Jimmy 1 personally, but.
Yes, obviously he's 1.
Garoppolo's 3-0.
Garoppolo went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Went but didn't win.
Well, because they made him throw the ball instead of running it. That's not quite his fault.
Yeah, that was the problem. He had to throw.
I said, hey, Jimmy, you haven't been the reason we're here, but go be the reason we finished the Super Bowl.
Yeah, go be the reason we hold up the trophy.
Teddy's certainly up there. I think they got the Jets this weekend. They'll win that game. So
I don't know.
Teddy's probably 3, honestly. Like, if we're being realistic, he's probably 3.
I think we can safely call him top 5, I think. But yeah, we also saw the first game in London. This week we get Packers Giants over there. This past week we had the Saints and the Vikings. Lutz hit from 60, tried to hit from 61. Forced OT, doinked it off the left upright and then off the crossbar.
Oh no.
Out.
Oh, we're good. Braves are the NL East.
Let's go.
There we go.
5 times.
5 times in a row.
Were you talking about the Saints, Grayson?
I don't know.
Yeah, that game. I caught the end of it. I was awake for the beginning. I just had no interest in watching Andy Dalton against Kirk Cousins. So I chose to get my fan upset while that game was going on. I saw Justin Jefferson had himself a day up there. Chris Olave, another productive game, I think. And yeah, I mean, maybe not the best teams over there in London. And I mean, this week we get the Giants, so we can't complain too much. But it was an entertaining game. I think it's good to put the product overseas, and then, but I mean, yeah, not the game of the week by any stretch of the imagination. So
Yeah, that was just a boring game. Like the double doink off the field goal and to end it didn't really necessarily put Cody Parkey out of the
or any Bears kicker ever, yeah,
Yeah.
no, they're they still have a trademark on that, I think. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's cool to see. Like I mentioned, this is not the only game. We'll have another one this Sunday, same kick time, Eastern, 9:30. So I can't say I'm waking up for Aaron Rodgers throwing to Alan Lazard against Daniel Jones, handing the ball off 30 times. But I mean, it's football. It's overseas trying to grow the game, something Rob Manfred could never do. So it's yeah, I mean, you don't want to send something like Chargers Chiefs over there, but I think that they're doing they're giving reasonable enough effort to get decent games over there, and I think it's doing well. So
yeah. I think they're getting ready for a London team.
I
They
think
have
that
the
is a
crowds.
logistical
Yeah.
nightmare.
It's gonna suck because they're gonna have to bring them over for like 2 or 3 weeks at a time, and then take teams
Yeah,
over there 2 or 3 weeks at a time and give a team a bye after.
right, exactly, and that's these scheduled people get asked to do a lot. I don't know if they can fit that in.
I think that's the only way. Like if
Oh
your
no,
team
there has
travels
to be
over
a
there, you
buy
have to get a
incorporated
bye.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, imagine like the Rams going out there and coming back and they come east. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So I don't know if logistically it makes a lot of sense. I think strictly just entertainment wise and having teams elsewhere, I would love it, honestly. I think there's games in Germany this year if I'm not mistaken. So I mean it's not limited to London. Like they've played Mexico City before too. So this is not the only international place we see. But yeah, I'm a fan of it. I don't know, like I said, season long is a lot more to figure out and it's a lot tougher. But for the limited dose we get now, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you want to start on the Cleveland Browns on Sunday? Because if you guys missed the Slate show, me and Bailey collabed on the Browns reaching 3-1, and they didn't because their franchise will probably be the one shipped to London because they are god awful. Jacob's friend Jimmy Haslam should sell the team. They suck.
No, he's good for Cleveland.
I
Yeah,
mean,
coach ain't.
with the way the Cavs are looking, the way the
GM,
Guardians are looking right now, I don't think anyone's going to care about the Browns in a month. I'll say that. They
You
are
have no idea how
bad.
deep our blood runs brown and or orange. I'm just not sure which one they say.
Long story short, me and Bailey had the Browns in the Slate show, and they're atrocious. So they lost in their lead. It wasn't Joe Flacco this time; it was Marcus Mariota. So at least they're losing to the class of the NFL. And but unfortunately, it does mean they will absolutely beat the Chargers this week, and I'm not ready for that. So I will be testing out the shoelace free look all Sunday just in case. But I'm definitely expecting us to lose because if you forget, we were their only win in 2 entire years. So I'm fully expecting
That's okay.
a Chargers loss because this is how this team works. So yeah, a team not losing despite injuries though, the Cowboys. I mean, we might need to change Dak's last name to Bledsoe because if Rush keeps this up, he might not have a job.
That was really good, Grayson.
He might not have a job.
Did you come up with that yourself?
I did.
That was really good.
It's in the script, so I wouldn't forget it. Yeah. I mean, if they beat the Rams this weekend, and we'll get to the Rams later, they played last night. We're recording on Tuesday night. I mean, are you just letting Dak rehab? Extra? Because
they already came out and said that this week, right? He's not back.
I think if Cooper Rush was playing poorly, he would be back. I'll put it like that. But I mean, yeah, they could really take their time with Dak.
Right. Yeah,
because
undefeated.
Yeah, and I mean that was a division game. I mean, I know the Commanders aren't exactly the most daunting task, but I mean, they won that game going away. It really wasn't close. I mean, I'm not sure it's Cooper Rush is doing them. That defense is playing incredibly well. I know Trayvon Diggs' pick or 80-yard touchdown, but I mean, the pressure from Parsons and that blitz, I mean, it's working, whatever they're doing. And if they can keep squeaking by teams, especially like the Rams, that's an impressive win. I don't care how bad the Rams looked last night. That's just I think it's not a question yet, seriously. Maybe in the mind of Jerry Jones, because he's, well, we could talk about Zeke and Pollard all day and who should be getting the snaps there, but I don't know. What do you guys think about Rush potentially starting longer than an emergency basis?
You ride him till he loses.
Yeah, I was about to say, you got to go with him until he kind of just.
I mean, you ride the hot hand. My boy Coop Rush has double red rings on NBA 2K right now, and he's shooting shots from the freaking logo. He should have had better stats last week than he has. Remember that ball that CeeDee Lamb dropped, and he was like, "My bad, guys." Yeah, CeeDee. Who else would it be?
Yeah, I mean, I think the defense in the 3 games he started has given up 17, 16, and 10. So they haven't eclipsed 30 on offense. They haven't had to. He hasn't had 250 yards rushing in this 3-game win streak.
But here's the thing. I know, like they haven't scored like 30, but he also hasn't like thrown picks to where.
No,
he's done nothing to bench himself yet.
Like how often in the NFL do you really need, if you don't turn the ball over once, how often do you need to score 30 to win? I would like to know that stat.
The league average defense, not very much, and they have a much better defense than league average. So
with Micah Parsons especially.
All right, their next 2 games on the road. I mentioned the Rams. They go to LA this weekend. I don't know if they win that one outright. Could he play well enough to get the start? Now, here's the other thing. Is in week 6, so a week from this coming Sunday, they go to Philadelphia on Sunday night.
Ooh, that's tough.
They are going to get, I don't care who's playing, they're going to get murdered. I don't care who's playing quarterback. It could be Troy Aikman, it could be Dak, it could be Cooper Rush. I don't care. So do you sit Dak again and let him debut or re-debut against the Lions at home then the following week?
Has Cooper Rush lost?
Assume they lose respectfully in Los Angeles against the Rams.
So they split it?
Well, no, I'm saying if they lose to the Rams but they put up a good showing, do you start Dak or Cooper Rush in Philadelphia?
So then what would be his record?
It would be 4-0 or 3-1 heading into a road date against the Eagles. I mean, does that change your opinion? If they lose by 3 to the Rams on the road?
Yeah, it changes my opinion because I don't think the Rams look very good.
Yeah, I mean that might be a race to 10, honestly. The way his defense has been looking.
If they lose, I mean, it all depends on how they lose by 3. If they lose 27-24, then let's ride Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
If they lose 13-10, then all right, we can throw Dak in there now.
So if they beat the Rams, Dak's 99% healthy. I think you start Cooper Rush in Philadelphia.
I would.
I just can't.
Mainly because when Dak was healthy, he didn't look good.
No, that was against Tampa, to be fair. But I mean,
But that's the same defense that Mahomes carved.
Yeah. Right.
Dak gets paid like he's Mahomes.
Well, I can tell you right now he's not. I don't care.
I know, but I'm just saying.
I mean, they're about to pay Lamar to be like Mahomes, and he's just as far away from him.
Is he?
Someone will. He'll make $40 million a year
after he gets franchise tag twice,
which will be like $80 million total.
And then I know, but it's not $400 million. Deshaun just got $250 million, and he raped 26 women, sexually assaulted, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, so say they beat the Rams, they go to the Rams and they win ugly pretty. Who cares? They beat the Rams. They're 4-1. Dak's medically cleared. I mean, are you still going Cooper Rush?
Yes. I mean, they're not going to because Dak gets paid $50 million a year.
And Jerry Jones owns that team.
But.
Well, that's the same issue with the running backs. Is they paid one of them.
Running backs is a little different than quarterbacks. That's the thing.
Right, but they're using the same logic as Pollard has looked. I mean, the only one that's rushed for 100 yards this year is Pollard in a game.
Yeah.
But they can still use both effectively.
Right.
Well, they're not doing it effectively.
You can't use two. I mean, they're winning.
If they're doing it effectively, then Pollard would get more carries than Zeke at this point. But that's never going to happen because of the whole pay dynamic.
Hasn't there been a game where Pollard had more touches?
Probably. He had 105 yards against the Giants.
Yeah, I'm sure there's been games.
Yeah. So it's just different with the quarterback than running back. So I think they'll look at it differently than they do with running back by committee.
That's true too. I mean, like I said, I don't think they go to Philly and win. I don't care who the hell's playing quarterback. So, I mean, if you want to play it super safe and sit him 5 games total and then have Dak come back, you get Detroit at home, the Bears at home, then a bye week 9 to regroup. I mean, that doesn't seem like the worst idea in the world. Speaking of quarterbacks doing a lot better than expected, Geno Smith.
Yeah, I don't know. Geno Smith doesn't move the needle for me. Here's what we need to be talking about. This is what we need to talk about. Who is the best team in the NFC?
It's Philadelphia. Are you kidding me?
I forgot they were a team. Who is the second best team in the NFC?
Niners. That's easy for me.
Packers? Niners?
No,
Niners?
Yes. I watched that entire game last night. That defense, good luck. I'm just telling you right now, it's the Niners.
Big B, who you got?
The Panthers.
Are we losing you, brother? Do we need to wrap this up?
No, I mean,
He was dreaming about a 10-win Panthers team.
It's a clear-cut favorite.
Of
the best.
Newton,
and then it's a big gap.
falling on that ball in the Super Bowl. Sorry. Did you get it? Did you get the joke?
Yeah. So I think Philly's 1. I think we can all agree there. I mean.
And if San Francisco's 2, then we got a weak NFC.
I wouldn't say that. It's just we're not. I mean, Green Bay and Tampa Bay have not lived up to expectations thus far. I think that's fair to say. But Tampa's also played a quarter of their games without Mike Evans and half of them without Godwin. So you got to put that into consideration as well.
Is Godwin going to be back?
He returned to the game after that scary-looking injury, so hopefully he's okay.
Yeah.
He had the hamstring issue, came back from that. But I think it's Philly at the top spot, I think, pretty clearly, especially after what we saw from them Sunday, getting punched in the mouth and coming back. And then, I think it's the Niners at 2. I probably would have said Tampa Bay coming into this week, but
2, 3, and 4.
Give me the Niners now.
Close. 2, 3, and 4 are a lot closer than it is from 1 and 2.
Because, 3, it has to be Minnesota, right?
3?
They beat the Packers head-to-head.
I would still take the Packers over the Vikings. I'm sorry.
But if he's right, Grayson's right, though.
Yes.
As we distance ourselves from that Week 1 game, it's going to be easier to disregard it. But this is
they beat them head-to-head.
It's 23-7. Yeah.
And the Packers haven't looked that good.
No, they haven't.
The Vikings haven't looked that good since that game either.
So they're both 3-1. They both look and won by 3 scores.
One beat the other.
Yeah.
Aaron
Rodgers is not a first week quarterback. He did it last year.
He just has everybody to throw to.
Tampa Bay would be, I think, 4. And then you have the Rams at 5. Well, probably Packers 5. Rams 6 after last night.
It's hard to.
You think this is hard? The AFC's a lot harder to do.
I will not.
Well, yeah, but at least like the AFC, I know the teams are good. The NFC teams 2 through 6, I'm like.
Who do we know is good in the AFC?
The Bills are good.
Bills.
The Dolphins are good with Tua healthy.
Do you say the Bills aren't good?
I said the Bills are good. The Dolphins are good with Tua healthy.
I don't know.
The Ravens are good. The Ravens are not good.
Jacob. All right. Ravens have 2 losses, right? How long have they been trailing in those 2 losses, you think?
They lost to the Bills and the Dolphins.
Right.
And they should have won
3 TD leads.
And they should have won both of those games. Yeah. The Ravens are good.
Teams find ways to lose games like that.
Ravens are good.
They've been trailing it for 14 seconds.
Great teams.
They're 2-2.
Great teams find ways to win those games.
Especially when you're up 17 and 21 points.
Nah. Ravens are a
good
team.
That's embarrassing.
Chiefs are a good team.
I'm with you.
I'm not sold.
You me, Big B? Or Grayson?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Ravens are good. They're going to win their division. You can't say they're not a good team if they don't win their division.
And
they're
3 weeks from now, we're going to say the Bengals are good.
I think they are now. I would say they're good now.
Okay, so that's 5.
If the Bengals and Ravens play today, the Bengals win. And they actually might play Sunday. Now that I think about it.
Sunday.
Give me the Bengals in that one.
I'm not betting any NFL. I'll give picks, but I have no clue what I'm doing with it.
I think we're just trusting trash organizations. The Chiefs, I think, are 1 right now.
Are they?
Bills 2.
Since
I think they
hasn't
are.
Said them, the Chargers aren't good, so.
What?
He hasn't
We'll
said them,
get
so the
there.
Chargers aren't good.
Yeah,
No,
I'm not gonna say
if
the
we get-
Chargers are good either.
No, I don't think after the Jacksonville game they're back
When
to
fully
that
healthy,
yet.
they're good. But
Yeah, fully healthy. Yeah, but they're not.
Right, Bosa's out 2 months. Slater's out the year. I mean, we got to see Keenan's still out. I mean, we've got things to adjust before we get there. Now, if we lose to teams like the Browns and the Falcons coming up, then we'll know pretty quickly. But yeah, I don't know. Baltimore, I'm not sold on anymore. I thought I was, and now I'm not. Just because you're up 21 going into the fourth quarter and you lose, and then you spot.
Are we still talking Baltimore?
Yeah,
So
because
the
I'm
Ravens
out
are
on
good.
Baltimore right now.
here's the
The
thing.
Ravens
here's
are
the thing.
good. They have a good quarterback, good coach.
Were the Falcons not good the year that they made it to the Super Bowl?
In 2016, I have no idea.
Because I'm saying that because they
I don't
blew
know.
a 25-point lead.
Or
Are they not a
18.
good team, Dean?
I mean, if you're in
I
the
mean-
Super Bowl, that's their moves. I mean, the Ravens haven't gotten past the division round. So if you want to talk about if you're in the Super Bowl, yeah, you're good. I mean, the Bengals were good last year. They lost the Super Bowl. I just think that teams that lose games like that against the true good teams, being the Patriots, who they played that year, and we've seen it against Miami and Buffalo. I mean, how good are you if you're up 3 scores against these teams?
Against
And-
good teams, how good are you if you're up 21 points?
Yeah, they're also
on good
against
teams.
two of the
You're
best
good.
teams in the division. Yeah.
Right. So
The
how are
thing
you
is,
in the same
losses-
tier as them? That's all I'm saying. I don't think there's any super elite AFC team like we see Philly separating a bit in the NFC.
Who cares?
If
We
Buffalo's
think the
4-0,
Ravens are good. You think they're bad.
No,
Whatever.
no,
Losses
no.
don't
They're not
matter at all
bad.
in the NFL. That's the thing. Losses have no
they're not
yes,
bad.
they
I just can't
affect
put them on the
standings,
same. I just can't put them on the same tier as teams they've blown 3 score leads to.
No. I'm
That's
not
all
putting
I'm
them in the same tier. I think all
We're
those
just
other
saying they're
teams are a
good.
league above or a tier above, but I just think they're in the good tier.
Yeah.
They're a playoff team easily.
They're in the
If you're in the
finished
playoffs,
10
you're a
and
good
7
team.
tier.
majority of the time.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask me to pick the AFC North right now, I still think they could probably win it. It's them and Cincinnati, honestly.
Probably.
That's what I'm saying. Like 10 and 7 is a good team in the NFL. And that's only what I'm ranking these teams by. Like, are you going to win 10 and 7?
Oh, they'll win 10 games easily.
Like, yeah, who are you like I guess my thing is like who are you confident will go 10 and 7 at worst? Ravens are in that group.
Okay, it's just a larger group than I was thinking. That's fine.
Right. The NFC like I cannot guarantee you that the 49ers will go 10 and 7.
Oh, they're going to win 10 games.
Yeah, they're going to win 10 games. You're right.
That defense,
I cannot guarantee you that the Vikings won't choke this one away.
Oh, I can't either. No. It's
Like,
like
I
Ellie said,
cannot
because they haven't been
guarantee-
impressive. Yeah.
That the Packers won't finish 9 and 8. I can't guarantee you that the Bucks won't finish 9 and 8. Like,
The AFC is better than the NFC. Put it that
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
But
I think Philly's the best
unfortunately-
team overall, but the AFC's a
Yeah,
little bit
that's what I'm
deeper.
saying. I think unfortunately they have the best team overall.
Yeah, that's how it's been the past couple of years. Like the AFC is always a better conference, but the NFC just has the one better team.
The one better
Yeah.
team. Yeah.
That's literally it.
That's because I mean we only say that because the AFC has clear cut better quarterbacks.
Oh,
Like in-
yeah.
it's not even close.
No, it's not.
The NFC is a retirement home.
Yeah. I mean,
Right? Colts?
So that's it.
right, but he came from the NFC. I mean,
Yeah.
that's Stafford
Yeah,
did the
he's
opposite.
retiring the AFC.
You got Rodgers, you got Brady, you got Stafford, you got.
Two
Yeah.
of those guys won the Super Bowl in the last 2 years.
I'm just
And they won't be
Yes.
playing in 2 more years.
System
That's the other
quarterbacks.
thing.
That's true.
Brady's gone, Rodgers gone, Stafford gone.
Did you
Stafford
say
doesn't look-
system quarterback
Yeah,
to Tom Brady?
yeah, you heard me.
How the Patriots look now with Bailey Zappi at quarterback? Yeah. Shout out Sunbelt. Or not Sunbelt, Western Kentucky, whatever.
Matt Stafford threw for 5,000 yards as a Lion. I'm not quite sure he's a system QB.
System quarterback.
Matt Stafford? No.
System quarterback.
He escaped a system of just dysfunction and being horrible.
Here,
Won a
I'll
Super
have a
Bowl.
hot take. Aaron Rodgers may be a system QB.
Well, we've seen him in a Hackett system. We see what that does to other elite quarterbacks.
Yeah,
So
ayahuasca
that might be a little.
QB.
That's true. Moving on.
Speaking of QBs, Kenny Pickett made his debut and the ball didn't touch the ground for him at all. 10
Yeah.
for 3 with 3 interceptions.
Yeah, 13 pass attempts, almost a quarter of them get caught by the other team, and they only lose by 3. So that's
Good job, Kenny.
what happens when
Warner's
you
fault, though, that's the thing.
play the Jets. No, that's true too.
That's what happens when you have Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yeah. Kenny will remain the starter as they go to the Bills for what will surely be a game that lasts maybe a quarter and a half. I think the spread's
What will
14.
surely
Here's the
be a
thing.
20-point line.
You've said that a good
It's
bit of
14.
times. We've said that a couple times this year. And football.
I mean, I think the Packers at 9.5 are the highest spread at this point. Now, you couldn't have given me $10 to put on that with the way the Packers look so far.
Yeah,
Wait, what
idiot
line?
would do that?
I think the Packers were 9.5 point favorites against the Patriots last weekend.
Yep. 9.5.
Well, I mean,
Because Bailey had them. Yeah.
yep, they couldn't account for Bailey Zappi.
Right.
Hit on the Baileys.
I mean, speaking of the same place the Bledsoe phenomenon was born, I mean, does Mac Jones have a stranglehold on that job right now?
So what that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah.
I mean, he'll be out a while.
Dude, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
Bailey Zappi threw for like 94 yards in 3.5 quarters.
I think the offense looked pretty similar to it did before Mac Jones got hurt. I'll be honest. It wasn't good.
Let's rank the young QBs, starting with the 2019 draft class, who I have no idea who's in them.
Trevor Lawrence.
Who's in the 2019 class?
Nobody better than Herbert.
Was 2019 Herbert?
2020.
No, that was Lawrence. 21 was Lawrence.
Yeah.
2020 was Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even
19 was Allen.
No,
I
that was
can't think of
2018.
Was it?
Jesus Christ, I can't think about that for.
Who was 2019?
Kyler got one in 19? Or was
Kyler.
that
Yeah,
18?
Kyler.
Jalen.
Kyler, Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Dwayne Haskins, RP.
I'm not hearing a name better than Herbert yet. So
No,
Oh,
I mean,
I
I'll
forgot
go.
Dwayne
I'll
Haskins.
say Herbert is 1.
yeah.
I'll say probably Kyler's 2. Brother, it's
Ky-
2019, 2020, and 2021.
I
Where's
know
Jalen
that.
Hurts?
I was about to say.
no,
where-
no.
yeah.
No. All right, so we got. All right, 1 is Herbert. 2
Mhm.
is Burrow.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're leaving out your boy here.
Forgot about him.
3 is probably. I would still go Kyler. Jalen Hurts has had a good 5 games. I'm not ready to move him ahead of Kyler.
When's the last time Kyler had good 5 games?
Last year
with Call of Duty on?
8-0.
Yeah, before Call of Duty came out and they played like shit. So
8-0.
you're right. I'll give you Kyler right now.
Then I'll go.
Hurts is closing that gap quickly.
And then Jalen Hurts is 5 right now.
Yeah.
And then 6, Trevor Lawrence.
That's pretty
7,
fluid after 5.
Trevor
I think.
Lawrence not in the rain.
6, 7 is Zach Wilson.
This is slim pickings already. Good Lord. Is there really not 10 good quarterbacks in 3 draft classes?
4 draft classes.
Drew
Because
Lock.
this year,
Even worse.
Kenny Pickens.
Drew Lock.
I'm going through just
All right,
thinking
Drew Lock, yeah.
Trey Lance.
I mean, we saw Trey Lance start for
I mean.
2 weeks.
Oh, wait, Daniel
Oh,
Jones.
Davis Mills.
Oh,
Same-
Gardner
same-
Minshew has to be top 10, right? Gardner Minshew has to be a top 5 backup in the league.
The fact his name came up is the biggest indictment on recent draft classes I can think of. That is
He was okay.
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill's good. Dude. Gardner Minshew's rookie year, he started 12 games, threw for 3,200 yards
Uh-huh.
with 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and 60% completion percentage. Trace McSorley, obviously.
We're getting into the TikTok. I mean, this is, I think past 5, this was useless.
a good segment.
That's our take on the recent quarterback classes. Tom Brady unfortunately divorced from the win column back-to-back weeks. The Chiefs destroyed them. That defense got, I wouldn't say embarrassed. It's still Pat Mahomes, but giving up 41 at home is never a good thing. Tampa is now 0-2 at home and 2-0 on the road, so I really don't know what to tell you about this Tampa team. We talked about it earlier as far as the hierarchy in the NFC. don't know if you can put them top 3 right now. So they've got room to improve for sure. But I mean, the Chiefs reminded us again, like they did week 1, that they are going nowhere. Tyreek Hill is halfway across the country now, but that offense is doing just fine. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 2 TDs. I mean, you guys this surprised to see this from this Chiefs team in Tampa Bay?
No. I mean, it's still Patrick Mahomes.
I think I'm more surprised at the defensive effort by the Bucs.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think
not that surprised with the way the Chiefs offense is.
right. A 10-point Chiefs wins one thing, but 41-31 is not the score I would have guessed, to say the least. And obviously, we've heard a lot of stuff today about Brady off the field, and who knows what that's going to do. But
You should date Kim Kardashian.
Because that'll go over well.
Pete Davidson with Giselle, yeah, that'll make some tabloids billions. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we kind of dissected the NFC. Tampa's definitely not where we thought they would be at this point, but it does bear repeating that this is after week 4 and now 17 weeks. So this is far from over. This Tampa team could definitely, get guys back. Godwin healthy temporarily. Evans not suspended anymore. Julio's unfortunately his same injured self. I don't know what they're really going to, they're pretty much riding Fournette at this point on the ground with the rookie behind him. But I mean, yeah, the Chiefs, I think, just again reminding us that they're back, and I think it's not crazy to say the best team in the AFC right now with even, with Tua out in Miami and then the Bills squeaking one out against Baltimore. So, yeah, as a Chargers fan, I am sick of the Chiefs. They're not going anywhere, so it's going to be
no shit. They signed
super
Patrick
fun.
Mahomes to 15 years.
Yeah, and then last night we saw the Niners dominate the Rams again, 24-9. Not the most exciting Monday Night Football game, but this Niners defense might be the best in the NFL the way they look last night. The Rams offense has been very lackluster to this point. I think they're averaging 17.5 points a game, so that's not what we expect from them coming off the Super Bowl, to say the least. So they signed Allen Robinson to not throw to him. They had Skowronek and Tyler Higbee featured along with obviously Cooper Kupp. So I'm not sure why they made the switch from Woods to Robinson, but yeah, something's got to change with the Rams. I think Stafford got sacked 6 times. So, I mean, like I said, this Niners.
I think you're right, though. The Niners are definitely an upper echelon team. Like I didn't really think about that coming into this year, but they definitely are.
Well, I didn't either. I think.
Good. And especially if they can stay healthy, man. Especially if they can stay healthy. Like as of right now, like for the next 13 games, Jimmy G is a better quarterback for that team than Trey Lance. Like, if you want to talk about best case to win a Super Bowl this year, it's Jimmy G.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Jimmy.
But if you want to do, like, I don't know, is Trey Lance better long term? I'm still not sure. Like, I think Kyle Shanahan would like for it to be Trey Lance because he can be all creative and do a bunch of cool things, with play action and that whole power run game that they do, the zone scheme. But I'm not even sure if, like, Trey Lance is a consistent enough passer to be fair, the one game we saw him was a literal monsoon.
It was a hurricane, yeah.
Yeah. But all the reports coming out of camp, like, was that, he still didn't look great.
Which is why Jimmy's still there. So, I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the thing you can always fall back on, though, is, like, Trey Lance has played, like, 8 total football games since, like, his junior year of high school.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a lot. The dude's still raw, so... Yeah, I'm very interested.
North Dakota State quarterbacks aren't looking the best.
The what?
No,
North
they're
Dakota
not.
State quarterbacks aren't looking too hot.
Well, I mean, Wentz won a Super Bowl by giving way to another quarterback, so maybe that
okay.
plays again.
Okay. I have a take, and I want to know you guys' opinion on this.
Shoot.
Did Wentz win a Super Bowl? I know he was on a team, quote unquote, that won a Super Bowl. But did Wentz win a Super Bowl? And you know what I mean when I say that.
Is this like saying, did Ronald Acuna win a World Series?
Right.
Yeah, because he
Spencer
contributed.
Strider win a World Series last year. Technically,
yes. Technically, no.
I mean, are we 2-time national champs?
No, that's different.
Yeah. I think Wentz was an MVP candidate when he went down. So I think if you start Foles from week 1.
That's what I'm trying to say.
They're not.
That's kind of what I'm getting at. It's like,
yeah.
Wentz was really good for those like 12, 11 games, whatever.
Yes.
And got them to that point of like
Right.
a really good position. But Foles had the magical run to win the playoffs, close out the regular season. Like,
Right.
Foles
And that's
won
more.
that Super Bowl.
We saw Jimmy G get, and Peyton Manning in the twilight years get dragged to Super Bowls by the defenses, but Brady threw for 500 yards in that Super Bowl. I mean, it was not
literally, right?
the work of the defense. No, it was literally. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
No.
Look it up. Look it up. I promise you. He threw for 500 yards in a loss. Yeah, look at his passing numbers. He threw the ball like 80 times. But yeah, no, that team's not in a position to win the Super Bowl without one.
Holy Jesus! It was actually 500 yards.
I know. That's one of those things. That's one of those sports things I'm just never gonna forget.
It was 28 for 48, 500 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Right. Yeah. Derek Barnett's strip sack, I think, sealed that one. But yeah, I mean, who called Philly special? Peterson or Foles?
Carson Wentz.
I guarantee you didn't. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's fair to say Wentz did. Or Wentz set them up for the Super Bowl run that he unfortunately couldn't participate.
Yeah, I still don't. I don't agree that he won a Super Bowl. I won't concede that he won a Super Bowl.
He is a Super Bowl contributor.
Yeah.
He was on a team that won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right, but a team that would not have been in that place 12 games in without him playing it.
I mean, would he? Would he not?
He was literally MVP.
Yeah.
For I won't say front runner yet, but he was among the conversation.
Weren't they
Sure.
like what did they start off? Their record was something stupid.
They're like
Wasn't
9-1 or something.
They were very, very good. And we may see something similar from that this year from them, to be honest, with the way their schedule is opening up. But yeah, the Niners, they play the Panthers next week. So thoughts and prayers to Bailey in advance here on a Tuesday. Because
needs to be fired. So.
And them not crossing the 50 might just do it. So who knows? But yeah, so that's the NFL this week. That's football. That's the Braves winning the NL East. And you guys got anything else?
I don't.
Nope.
All right. Well, that's all we got this week. This will be on Apple and Spotify like usual. If you haven't already, check us out on YouTube with a 1009 podcast there. And then if you want all the links, anything else, Jacob's first mock draft is on our Twitter at the 1009.
I might do one every day.
Well, we'll see. Frequent mock drafts, the frequency TBD. But yeah, so we will see you guys on Thursday with the stage show.
We also might be doing a fantasy basketball league as a joke.
Oh yeah, we're probably gonna do a fantasy basketball league.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out if we like live draft it and have people watch. Not that actually many people will, but
hundreds.
Be on the lookout of that.
Dozens. We will have the same amount as in Oakland.
That's a good goal. I like that. Yeah. So that announcements will be on Twitter as well at the 1009, including the link probably. So if you don't follow us already, I highly encourage it.
Subscribe.